It's so nice.
Haldo! Welcome back, everybody! So now that we've gotten the Super Mario Land games done and over with, it's time to go into the new age of 2D Mario games. With the arrival of the Nintendo DS, this seemed like the perfect opportunity to bring Mario back to his side-scrolling days, with today's game, New Super Mario Bros. But first, if I may, I'd like to talk a little bit about this game's history. New Super Mario Bros. Was designed to be a successor to the Super Mario Advance series, which were basically Game Boy Advance remakes of older Mario games. And that's about it, really. All I could find for beta elements mostly just consisted of unused enemies and a multiplayer feature that never really went anywhere. New Super Mario Bros. Was released for the Nintendo DS on May 15th, 2006. 11 years after Yoshi's Island, and 15 years after Super Mario World. I don't know why it took them so long to make a new 2D Mario game. Maybe they thought 3D Mario wasn't gonna catch on well enough, so they just decided to go Throwback Thursday on us and come out with this game to make up for it. Even though May 15th, 2006 was a Monday. Man, I sure know how to ramble. So, just to wrap things up for an intro, does New Super Mario Bros. Manage to restart Mario's 2D career on a high note? Let's take a look. The game begins with Mario and Princess Peach going for a leisurely stroll through the Mushroom Kingdom. But all of a sudden, a thundercloud appears over Peach's castle. For some reason, Mario goes over to make sure everything's okay, and while he's not looking...
Wait, who's that? Is that a baby Bowser? Is that a Koopa Kid from Mario Party? Is that Ron Jeremy in Ghostbusters? What?
Actually, this is Bowser Jr., son of the Koopa King himself, as well as a new character who previously made his debut in Super Mario Sunshine. But that game can wait. Oh, it can wait. But anyway, Bowser Jr. captures Peach and it's up to Mario to save the day. So there, nothing special, but nothing too difficult to understand. Just like what you normally get from a Mario game. Unless it was an RPG.
No! Go away! We never talk about that one!
So for a game called New Super Mario Bros., what exactly makes it so new in terms of gameplay? Well, not a whole lot really. Because this game was designed to be a throwback to classic Mario, we have a 2D side-scroller where you simply have to guide Mario to the goal pole and travel from one level to the next. For the sake of time, I'll just say Mario controls exactly like he did in the original Super Mario Bros., but combined with the smoothness of Super Mario World's controls. Now, even though the Nintendo DS has 4 buttons on the right side of the system, you'll really only be using 2 of them, one for running and one for jumping. This just screams classic Mario, but I don't think adding a spin jump would have done any harm. Unless it was this one, then it would have done a little harm. The power-up selection is quite familiar. There's the Mushroom, the Fire Flower, and the Starman.
Yeah! Starman! Not Superstar! That sounds stupid!
And like in Super Mario World, you can store extra power-ups in a neat little box to use for later, all with a nifty little tap of the touchscreen.
Yay!
But New Super Mario Bros. Isn't without its new power-ups. First, there's the Mini Mushroom, which causes Mario to shrink down to the size of a pea and lets him squeeze through tight spaces. Only problem is, it makes him twice as vulnerable to enemies, so be super extra careful. Next up is the Blue Shell. No, not that blue shell. This blue shell is actually pretty awesome. Not only does it make Mario look like a big turtle, but with enough running speed, he can actually go inside the shell and knock out almost anything in his path. Too bad that it's a little tricky to control, otherwise it would be my favorite new addition to this game. That distinction, without any shred of doubt, goes to the Mega Mushroom. This thing is insane. It's incredibly rare, but once you find it, Mario becomes a 50-foot tall plumber of doom.
Everything that stands in your way, demolished, decimated. Nothing can stop.
Oh. Never mind. But even though all these new power-ups are great, the power-up selection as a whole is kinda weak. What we really needed was a cape feather, or a Hammer Brothers suit, or a Super Leap. Oh wait. Bottom line, I think having a few more classic power-ups would have been nice. That's all. Now, what about these shiny coin thingies? Well, these are star coins. They behave in a way that's kinda similar to the dragon coins from Super Mario World and the flower coins from Yoshi's Island. But star coins are different because there's only 3 of them per level, and they can be used to unlock toad houses on the world map, which we'll talk about real soon. I don't always go out of my way to collect all the star coins, but when I do, I just use an action replay. I mean, what? Nothing? Nobody? Huh? What? Who? But one thing I really respect about the star coins is that you don't need to collect them all in order to progress through the game. They're simply optional, and you can just beat the game without even collecting 1 star coin, like the gems in Crash Bandicoot. Yes! Thank you! Now that's how you make a good collectathon platformer. Now let's talk about the world map. Structurally, it's similar to Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World, but there are no mini-bosses, and the levels aren't marked in a way to indicate how many exits they have. Which isn't really that big of a deal, so let's move on. Finding secrets on the world map can depend on how many star coins are needed to open it, or how you beat a level. Finding the secret exit in a level can open up a path that leads to a new hidden level, a shortcut to the castle level of that particular world, or a cannon that can be used to skip to other worlds. Mario's blasting off again! Ding! Like in previous games, New Super Mario Bros. Is broken up into 8 worlds. Each world has a fortress level where you square off against Bowser Jr., and a castle level where the boss tends to change with each one. What? Bowser? But it's so early in the game. Whatever, you're going down. Son of a Goomba. I literally just killed Bowser. Look at him. I just burned him alive, right down to the bone. That's pretty gruesome for a Mario game. Oh wait, I just turned him into a dry bones. Right, because there's no such thing as death in the Mushroom Kingdom. While we're at it, why don't we just say he got sent to the Shadow Realm? I forgot what I was talking about. Man, look at those character animations. Instead of looking like a straight-up 2D platformer, New Super Mario Bros. Decides to put 3D character models on top of 2D backgrounds. Or as I like to call it, 2.5D! Sorry. To put it bluntly, this game looks great. It's bright, colorful, and it really looks like a natural evolution from previous 2D Mario games, like going from Super Mario Land 1 to Super Mario Land 2. As for the music, it's just okay. In the moment, I could tap my foot along to a couple songs, but I can really only remember one song off the top of my head, and that's the Overworld theme, which is a great track, by the way. The underground levels also use the underground theme from the original Super Mario Bros., which is kind of lazy, but it makes sense for this game, so I'll let it slide. Overall, it's a decent soundtrack. Nothing substantial, but nothing terrible either. Hey look, I made it to the end! Bowser Jr. throws his father's bones into a magic cauldron, bringing Big Bad King Dad back to life for one last battle. Yeah, that's another thing about this game. It's really easy. Oh, but wait, the game's not over yet, because now you'll discover a special code that changes the game in a mysterious way. Well, okay, let me just hold down L and R, select a file, and see what...
Luigi.
What was that?
My baby!
Yes, by inputting the code, you can now play New Super Mario Bros. As Luigi. It's great because I love Luigi, and I'm glad he's getting some kind of recognition, but it's merely a cosmetic difference. Luigi controls exactly like Mario. He can't run faster, jump higher, and he doesn't have poorer traction than Mario. Well, I guess it's still kind of cool to be able to play as Luigi in a single-player Mario game. Before I wrap things up, New Super Mario Bros. Also has a few multiplayer modes. The first is a series of mini-games, which you can also play alone if you just want to let time fly by. I'm not exactly impressed with this mode, mostly because the mini-games themselves are ripped right out of the DS port of Super Mario 64, and that kind of screams laziness to me. They're fun, don't get me wrong, but I've played these mini-games already. The Mario vs. Luigi mode is definitely better. 2 players control Mario and Luigi, and the goal is to collect more power stars than the other. It can get really competitive, but it's so much fun regardless. I loved playing this mode with my brother when we were younger, and we're incredibly sore losers toward one another, but we still had fun nonetheless. Even if I did always win against you, Mike, you senseless little bitch! So, all in all, what's my verdict on New Super Mario Bros.? Well, to put it simply, this game is pretty dang good. New Super Mario Bros. Was clearly designed to be a nostalgic throwback to Mario's side-scrolling days and nothing else. But in my opinion, I think it does a great job. It combines some of the best elements from Super Mario Bros. 1 to 3 in World, while also adding some minor changes to make it feel better suited for the new age of Mario games. Although the level design isn't quite that imaginative, the power-up selection is a little flat, and the music isn't terribly memorable, minus a few tracks, both hardcore Mario fans and casual gamers alike can have a really great time with this game. It's the #1 best-selling game on the Nintendo DS, and I feel it deserves to keep that title. New Super Mario Bros. Is a blast from start to finish. But even though players were satisfied with New Super Mario Bros., Shigeru Miyamoto was still desperate to incorporate something very specific into it that he couldn't at the time. So in order to fulfill that desire, he would have to take this game and shift it to Nintendo's big seller of the day, the Wii. Next time, we're going to see if he succeeded with New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Until then, this is Mark, aka Super Smash 3DS, bidding you all a smashing farewell.